The biggest difference for you, personal, between Libertad and Contraband? What is for you? What?
Probably producers and the musicality. Brendan O'Brien, who did Libertad, he's number one. He's a musician. I've never made a record with a musician. He can play everything, and he's great at it. And he talks to you in musical terms. We really like transitions from a chorus into a bridge. You know, he would talk at length about. You know, but man, this is great how it goes from this chorus. What do you think about like a B minor 7 there? You know, and first I'm like, did you just say a B minor 7? You know, you're a producer. And that's what producers are supposed to do, but I've never made a record with a musical producer. Mike Klink, who did Appetite and the Gun stuff, was a great guy. He was able to get the energy of the band on a tape. Josh, who we did Contraband with, was great in that he had made some modern records, and I think we needed to make a modern sounding rock record, whether that means tons of compression or whatever it meant. But he was the right guy for us right then. But Brendan, because we found ourselves in this place like, okay, these are 5 very musical guys. We've had this successful record in Contraband. We're ready to take the next step. And Brendan was the guy that really helped us there. And we used a lot of old vintage gear, and Matt used a ton of old different vintage drum kits, and Brendan got Dave Kushner playing old 50s and 60s Gibsons and Fenders, and so I would say probably the producer.
And then Rick Rubin, how come it didn't work out with him?
You know, it seemed like a great idea at the beginning with Rick, and you know, we've known him forever, since the late 80s, and but he works completely different than this band does. Okay. This band, when we say, okay, we're ready to work, we mean we're ready to work like the next day. And Rick is kind of like, well, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and he shows up a month later, you know, and just kind of says, you know, write some more songs, but nothing else, you know, and he was doing a lot of records at the time, and about 3 months of kind of Rick just coming by once in every 4 weeks, we realized that we weren't going to probably have a record out till 2008. So we just, you know, it was an amicable split.
Okay.
But you know, maybe we'll do a record with him at some point. But we'll have to say to him, Rick, you know, if we're going to say we have a start date, that means we're in the studio recording.
Yeah. Okay. And then my real last question, if you look back now to Guns N' Roses, is there for you one album or a few songs that you like the most of the Guns N' Roses period?
Oh.
For you, now, 15 years ago?
Yeah, probably It's So Easy and Paradise City.
So, Appetite for Destruction,
yeah,
more?
For me, right now, just off the top of my head.
Okay.
It's nothing I've really ever thought about before, but yeah.
Okay. Thank you.